It makes no sense. There's no reason for him to be there. And then he decides that he's going to give him a free strike policy and then gives him a strike straight away. And then when he walks in and sees Fred having a dance off just because his elves happen to be having a 5-minute fucking break, which is fucking well deserved after 200 fucking years. My fucking God. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Six and Below. This week we're on a journey to the North Pole with Fred Claus. I'm Erik. This is Darren.
Welcome into Six and Below Movie Podcast.
Cue the intro.
When's the last time you actually watched this film then?
I've never seen it before. Watching it this week for this program. Yeah, never really interested me. I'm not a fan of Vince Vaughn, as I've mentioned on other videos, so it wasn't really top of my list to be watching, especially like Christmas time, because that's the only time you're ever going to want to watch this, if you ever get forced to watch it. Although, it's not a bad film. But
not too bad.
Well, as we will find out. But, I'm just not a massive fan of Vince Vaughn.
I know, and I will be honest with you. I knew you didn't like Vince Vaughn, and that's why I actually picked this for this week.
Yeah, because you're a dick. But no, it's not that he's so much that he's a bad actor. I've enjoyed some of his films. I enjoyed like Wedding Crashers, and what was that? Oh, I like Dodgeball.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't know if that was more because of the supporting cast in it.
I was about to say that it's more of Ben Stiller, isn't it?
Because that film's class. I love that when he that my favourite bit is that when he goes Michel and he just turns up. That big guy just turns up on the little on the moped, game on the back. But yeah, he just the thing with Vince Vaughn though is that he just always seems to play himself. There's no kind of range to him. Like I've never seen it, but I've heard he was good in Swingers, which I think was like his breakout role. But other films I see him, it just seems to be what would Vince Vaughn do in this situation? And in the case of this film, it's what would Vince Vaughn do if he happened to be the older brother of Santa? And
I've got to say, he played it well.
Well, that's kind of up to debate. He's just a kind of fast-talking, cynical kind of
jackass.
Thinks everyone's kind of around him is just a bit like, well, that's a bit weird, but I'll go with it type thing. It's hard to describe why I don't like him. He seems like in real life he'd possibly be a bit of a prick, but obviously it's hard to tell. But the fact that he plays the same people in all the films, it's kind of like he's probably, like, say, just playing himself.
Yeah, because across the board with all of his films, he plays the jackass who plays the victim. You know what I mean? It's like, he's like the one who's always hard done by and stuff like that, isn't it?
The underachiever who's got that potential. He just needs to realise that he's special in this world and he can do it, and he just needs that push. It always seems to be the same thing. The one film I did fucking hate him in was The Internship or Interns.
I've seen that.
The one where I think it's him and Owen Wilson. Is it Owen Wilson, the guy with the crooked nose?
Yeah.
You can do an impression.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the one. You get a job at Google, basically. And, like, it's almost like the kind of going in and trying to show the young guns how to do it. And it's just like, fuck off. Fuck off. It's a shit film. It shouldn't have been made. It was basically just one big advertisement for Google.
Yeah.
It was just, that one didn't need to be made at all. I imagine that'd probably be on here, and don't get any fucking ideas of making me watch it.
I'm actually thinking about looking on it now.
I'm not going to be sitting through that. I am not going to be sitting through that film. Not again.
It's below 6, unfortunately, mate, if it comes up on the list. Bear in mind, at the moment, we've got a choice of 62 films what are on our list.
Yes.
So we do them random as well. But for next week, what we're going to be watching, Erik?
Twilight. Fuck. Twilight.
5.3.
I don't need to watch the film. We can do it now if you want. I've got enough to say about that. I've had it built up since 2008 when it was released.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you just want to switch and do that, now just change the background and we'll talk about Twilight. So let's talk about the vampires.
Save that for next week's episode. As it is a Christmas film and it's Christmas next week, we've got into the Christmas spirit. As you can see if you're watching on YouTube, we've got the Christmas hat on, we've got the Christmas jumpers on.
Well,
it's a little bit touch and go, really, if it's a Christmas jumper.
Can I just stop you there? Because mine is clearly a Christmas jumper. It says, "This guy loves," and I assure you it doesn't say cock.
It's
Christmas or kids. So it says Christmas, my co-host here, Darren, whips out his Christmas jumper.
That is a Christmas.
And it's basically just a Volkswagen camper van with antlers. How is that fucking Christmas?
It's got a Christmas
Yeah,
wreath.
but
It's got Christmas Santa Claus up there with the reindeers.
your top's a cunt, mate.
I think it is.
You've had me off because, anyway, I'm sat here with an arrow pointing at me saying this guy loves, and it could literally say anything at the bottom.
Right, should we get into the vitals of the film?
Yeah, go on, tell us how this film did.
The film was released in 2007, 1 hour and 50 runtime. IMDb rating 5.7, Metacritic 42.
Just about that runtime, did you ever feel this film could have been like half an hour early? Like, shorter?
Yeah, a
At
good
the
40
least.
minutes.
Good 40 minutes. I reckon about an hour would have been enough.
To be fair, though, I thought the pacing wasn't too bad, so it didn't feel like a 2-hour film.
I don't know. There were some bits that were just kind of... There were some bits I would like to have seen, which I'll touch on in a bit.
Yep.
But there's some bits where it's just kind of like...
Filler.
didn't really need to be there. Sorry, carry on. So,
Okay, Metacritic 42.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, critics 21%, audience score 45%. So pretty much 1 in 2 audience actually enjoyed this film. So one of us enjoyed it on stats.
so it was panned by the critics then.
Pretty much, yeah. 21% with them. Budget 100 million.
What? This 100... No, you're making that shit up. This was not 100 million.
100 million.
Someone
budget.
greenlit $100 million for... Holy shit! 100 million.
Yep. And box office was 97.8 worldwide box office. And then if you put into the accounts of like deductions of advertisement and then the box office take a 50% split, it's a big loss.
I wonder if this photo of Vince Vaughn here was taken after that was announced, because he's kind of looking at the camera thinking, oh shit, I'm in trouble. Oh shit, what have we done?
I've done it again, guys. I've done it again. I'm sorry. Now, the film came out in 2007.
Yeah.
Other films what were good in 2007. So top of the rankings
Go on.
was Pirates of the Caribbean at World Ends with 960 million. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, 938.
Sorry, did Harry Potter do worse than Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
That surprises me. Go on, carry on. Sorry.
Not a lot in it, like you say, because Pirates of the Caribbean was 960. Harry Potter was 938.
I still can't believe the Pirates of the Caribbean got that much.
Yeah,
I mean, the film is based on a ride in it. There was loads of that when it came out, that it's like, how can you have a film that's based on a fucking ride? But it did well. I don't know. It's an all right film.
And then number 3, another Disney one, Spider-Man 3. Actually, Sony, wasn't it then?
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, it was Sony, the first 3, wasn't it?
Yeah. That one is absolutely shit.
It was pretty crap, that one.
Spider-Man 3, that's the one with a bit of venom in it, innit? Is that the one where he walks down the street and he asks pretending to be bad and he does that fucking stupid dance?
I think it might be.
Yeah, that one was that's the one with Sandman, and he had that Topher Grace in as well from that 70s show, and he was playing kind of Eddie, whatever his name, Eddie Brock, is it? The Venom?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
Yeah,
And that made
that film.
894 million.
Wow, how the fuck? That's got to be below a 6, that film.
I'll have to look in a sec, actually.
Spider-Man 3, that has got to be... If that's not below a 6, I'd be very surprised.
So this movie was ranked 55 films that was released in 2007. It was higher grossing than Hot Fuzz,
Right?
28 weeks later, and Shooter, starring Mark Wahlberg.
Shooter.
Yeah, Shooter.
That's quite a good film, but unless you're kind of into them kind of action-y type films, you're probably not going to go out and watch that.
It was a good film, to be fair.
It is a good film, don't get me wrong. Is that the one where he's a sniper, isn't he? And he's...
He gets framed for shooting somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one, though. If you've never seen it before, worth watching it. Okay, do you want to let us know who the director and who it's written by?
Yeah, so the director to this was a chap called David Dobkin. So he has done some other... He's got a mixed bag of films behind him. So he originally worked with Vince Vaughn on Wedding Crashers when he directed that, which, as I mentioned before, is a good film. I enjoyed the Wedding Crashers, good concept and stuff. He also did Shanghai Night, which I think was Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan, but wasn't that the sequel to Shanghai Noon?
Yeah, I think it was. It was terrible, that as well.
So that's a 6.2. Wedding Crashers is a 7. Other than that, it looks like he's done some music-related work. He's done some stuff with like Maroon 5 and And he did that Eurovision song contest film.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, the story of Fire and Saga.
Have you seen that one?
I've not. No.
I think that could be on our list as well. It's absolutely terrible.
But he's produced some good films as well. Like he produced some. Looks like he's done some work with Guy Ritchie because he's done that King Arthur Legend of the Sword. Have you seen that one?
Not yet. No. Any good?
That's a good film. Yeah. I really enjoyed that one. The Man from U.N.C.L.E., the film. That's got a 7.2. He was an executive producer on that one.
Right.
R.I.P.D. That one's a bit shit. Ryan Reynolds and
I have seen that. Where he comes back from the dead.
Yeah.
So like a cop.
Yeah, so it's Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, so he gets killed and comes back from the dead. Can you imagine that though? Fucking dying and then having to, as you're in heaven, work the same job you did.
Be worse, would it?
I'd be well pissed off. I'd be like, "Are you sure I'm not downstairs? Because I'm definitely not in heaven." If I was still doing the same fucking job.
Just to let you know as well, Eurovision is 6.5.
Have you seen that?
Spider-Man 3 is 6.3.
Fuck off, Spider-Man 3 is above a 6.
It's too high to qualify on this podcast. And R.I.P.D. is 5.6.
Yeah, 5.6. We could do R.I.P.D. if you wanted to watch that. I don't know if you ever fancied it.
Hit that on the list right now.
So this film had 2 writers. We've got a Dan Fogelman and a Jesse Nelson. So Dan Fogelman, he's written Stupid Crazy Love, which is quite a good film. I don't know if you've seen that one. He did Cars 2, Tangled. You ever seen that one, the Rapunzel Disney film?
Yeah, I quite like that one, actually.
Yeah, it was good little film. So he wrote that, and what else has he done? And he wrote a film called The Guilt Trip. Have you ever seen that?
No, never seen that one.
That's terrible. Seth Rogen and Barbara Streisand. Basically like a road trip movie between like I was going to say a daughter and son, but no, that would make sense. Mother and son. Really, really shit film. That could be on our list, but I'm not going to add it.
If there's any films what are below 6 as well, if you want to contact us at
6andbelowpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. Or always, you can always let us know down in comments below.
Leave us a comment, please, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe.
If you are listening to our Spotify, don't forget to hit that 5-star rating as well, and always tell your nan.
And if you are listening on Spotify, feel free to skip over to YouTube so you can see my beautiful face. And then the other writer, Jesse Nelson, he's not really written much that I've heard of before, other than the film Stepmom. I don't know if you remember that one. I think he had Julia Roberts and Susan Sarandon in. I think it was like released back end of the 90s. I think that was an alright film. Other than that, I don't really recognise anything else that he's kind of written.
Gotta go through the actors?
Yeah, can do. So obviously this film stars Vince Vaughn as Fred Claus. We have Paul Giamatti as Santa Claus himself, big fella with the beard. You know the one.
Otherwise known as Nick.
Where's one of these? What did you say?
Otherwise known as Nick.
Otherwise known as Nick, Big Nick himself, Nicky. Then we got Elizabeth Banks as Charlene. We got John Michael Higgins as Willie. We've got Miranda Richardson as Annette Claus or Mrs. Claus, and we got Rachel Weisz as Wanda. And then playing Fred's mother, we have Kathy Bates.
She's great, isn't she?
She is good, yeah.
I like her in pretty much everything she's done.
Yeah.
Even, have you seen the American Horror Stories?
Yes.
Really good in there.
Yeah, she's good.
Really good.
Mate, Misery. Have you ever seen Misery?
Misery, perfect part for it.
Yeah. And then we got Trevor Peacock as Papa Claus. And then finally, we've got Kevin Spacey, who plays Clyde.
Okay, here's a question for you. The burning question that everybody's wanting to know.
Go on.
Would you rather Rachel Weisz or Elizabeth Banks?
Rachel Weisz.
Would you?
Yes.
I was the way around me, Elizabeth Banks. It's very close. But with the outfit she's wearing, even my missus went to me and went, does she have to wear that? I was like, why? Hey, and listen, right, you're okay with 4 being half topless and stuff. So why can't Charlene wear a nice little sexy Santa outfit?
Well, yeah. To be honest, like, it wasn't very fit for the North Pole, was it?
Not really, no. And since it was meant to be in the North Pole, do you notice not a single character had breath coming like the...
He was walking around in his leather jacket and a t-shirt half the time.
And then at the end...
I had a quick look, because I was thinking, surely it's colder than fucking t-shirt weather in the North Pole in the middle of December during the winter in the Northern fucking Hemisphere. And apparently the temperature ranges from like minus 26 degrees Celsius to about minus 40 on average. I'm like... Yeah, you're getting frostbite there, dude. Even the elves are walking around in little fucking green suits.
That's it.
Little, they look thin as fuck. Yeah, everyone's wearing a hat, but yeah, your head will be fine. But what about your fucking hands?
That's one thing I did notice when he was in the North Pole as well. When he's walking around, he's wearing a leather jacket and a t-shirt, right? And then at the very end of it, he's dressed up as if it's like an Eskimo going through, like walking through everywhere.
I don't know. Maybe they just have fucking space heaters or something all the way along. You know, them outdoor fucking heaters.
I was thinking that because all the lights what are coming off there, it's giving off that much heat from all them light bulbs.
Maybe they're the ones responsible for the polar caps melting.
Quite possibly.
Because maybe I blame Santa. Stop Santa. Stop global warming. End Santa Claus.
Go on,
Cancel
Greta,
him
get up
now.
there.
Fucking hell.
Get up there, Greta.
Yeah, go on, Greta, love.
Okay, the movie starts off in the 1800s, roughly, doesn't it? Where we see two kids growing up, Fred and his little brother, Nicholas.
Yeah.
What's your verdict on little Santa?
So his mum's giving birth in the fucking living room, just like, and he's upstairs watching, which is fair enough, different time back in the day. And then out comes this fucking baby that's like the size of a 2-year-old. And even the nurse, the midwife, says, wow, that's a big fucking baby. God knows what that fucking baby has just done to fucking Kathy Bates' vagina. But then the cheek of the little fucker has the nerve to fucking sit on her and then call her a hoe.
Not just once as well, was it?
Rips a fucking fanny apart, comes out and goes, ho ho, like you cheeky fucker. I'm not surprised though that the dad in it never said another word after that because he never fucking got any. It was probably like a hot dog down a fucking alleyway trying to fucking bang her after this. Jesus.
So yeah, the dad, the only words he actually spoken pretty much on this was at the very start of it, wasn't it? And he says like, Fred, do you want to come and meet your little brother?
Yeah.
Then after that, it wasn't much talking, was there?
He doesn't say fuck all throughout the whole film other than that. And I think it's just because he was traumatized that his wife's vag had just been fucking ripped open by this fat fucking baby who, like I say, then decided to call her a hoe.
What do you think about his acting ability?
Who, the dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
He was more like furniture in this than anything else. He just kind of stood by. You could have just replaced him with a chair and I wouldn't have noticed, to be honest. But do you recognise who that guy is from Vicar of Dibley?
Yeah, you mentioned that a little bit earlier on, didn't you?
Yeah. So he was Jim in Vicar of Dibley. The guy used to go, no, yes.
Yeah, I've got to let you in on a little something now as well. And
Go on.
I'm not trying to stitch you up a little bit, but in a way I'm trying to stitch you up.
Right.
So he was actually diagnosed with dementia. That's why he's got no lines.
I know. But still.
I was expecting you to sit there going, he just sits there, not doing anything.
Well, I did kind of read that he was diagnosed with dementia, but after the film.
Yeah.
But then again, they could have just got someone else.
Yeah, he could have, done it. But I think it was quite a nice touch anyway. You know what I mean? To have him there.
So I would
It was more of an ornament.
No.
Yes.
Then Santa as a kid, what an annoying fucking little shite that guy was.
He was a massive kiss ass, wasn't
He was a fucking little chump.
Fred's there like that, use the door. The kid comes down the bloody chimney and goes, I might use a different way of getting into the house.
Yeah, and Fred even calls him a fucking, what you doing, you dickhead? And he's like, oh, do you like my new outfit? I designed it myself. And I think Fred goes like, yeah, I probably wouldn't tell anyone that. Gets told off by his fucking mum. But yeah, your kid's coming down a fucking chimney. I'm not being funny. Sort that shit out. First of all, what's he doing on the fucking roof in the first place? Second of all, I know like during the 18th, 19th century or whenever this is the fuck is supposed to be, that you sent kids up on the roof to clean your chimney. But fuck me. Don't have him coming down it and then decide that it's going to... If my fucking kid did that, I'd go mad. I'd be like, what are you doing on the roof anyway? No, you're not entering the house using the fucking chimney. You fucking idiot.
And then he gives him a gift as well, doesn't it? A personalised diary. And then straight away he gives it to the homeless kids down the road.
Yeah. And again, he speaks sense and he says, what's fucking little Johnny going to do with... Well, his name's not Johnny, but what's he going to fucking do with a gift that says
Nicholas?
He's supposed to be this good, saintly fucking guy. Yeah, he's going and giving some presents down the road to some fucking layabout who fucking doesn't have a job, probably. But I'm not being funny. You don't take a gift at someone and then re-fucking gift it to someone.
And then to top it off, he cuts down his favourite tree.
Yeah, to be fair, he had that coming. He said that he liked the fucking tree, and how was he to know that he fucking goes up on a tree every day to have a chat with a fucking bird? He probably just said to his mum, "I'm going to nip out and see my bird," and they thought he was probably just seeing some bird, like some woman from down the road. Oh, little Freddie's got himself a little girlfriend, but no, actually he's just sat on a branch talking to a fucking blue bird. What?
That's it.
Did he grow
Nick
up in
comes
fucking
along.
fairy tale land or something? Because what's he doing fucking talking to birds anyway? It looks like something out of fucking Cinderella or something, or Snow White.
To be fair, though, it didn't actually talk back. If it was talking back, then yeah, I'd probably say a lot more. But I think it's a case of he's just talking in general and something's there.
To be fair, though, Nick was, I suppose he was a bit of a cunt because he was in the tree when he fucking cut it down.
This story could have turned out a lot different. You just killed your brother, Fred.
Yeah.
Just got impaled in the spike as the tree fell down.
Because he sat in the tree talking to his only bird, literally talking to his bird. And next thing is, tree comes down and he sat there going, "I know you love this tree so much, so I cut it down so we can bring it inside." How did this guy become a saint? Because this guy, I'm surprised he didn't call him fucking Damien, because so far he's showing signs of the Antichrist.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a shit.
Right.
So the narrator, what I don't get, he actually says when you become a saint, you become immortal.
Yeah.
Right? So did he become a saint when he was like in his 50s?
The thing is, though, as well, right? To become a saint, an official saint, you have to be dead.
Yeah.
So there's none of that when you become a saint, you become a fucking immortal, because that's not how sainthood works. You have to literally be dead to be a saint. There's no living saints. There's never been a fucking living saint.
That's it. And then do they stay that age throughout eternity? Are they like immortals? Yeah. Does it go like a Highlander where Saint Christoph comes down and cuts Saint Nicholas's head off to become Santa?
There could be only one. Yeah.
It'd be a mixture of either Jet Li coming through different universes where different Santas from different multi-universes are fighting each other, or a Highlander.
Yeah, because you've got to talk about this immortality shit with it, because yeah, you're right. At what age did it kick in? So did he only get his sainthood when Nick was, I don't know, how old's Fred supposed to be? Because he's supposed to be the older brother. I'd say maybe looking at him, maybe early 40s, late 30s, early 40s.
Mid 40s, I'd say, Vince Vaughn in this.
Yeah, so what? So Nick, he was probably what? He probably looked about 6 or 7 when Nick was born.
Yeah.
So why is it that fucking Santa Claus looks like he's about 70 when he's probably only in his late 30s and been frozen that way for about 200-300 years? It's like, it does not compute, my friend.
And here's one for you.
And how
Paul is actually in real life 3 years older than Vince.
Yes, I read that. Yeah, Paul Giamatti. Yeah. But you can tell, but I don't know if it's just because of the white beard and the white hair, because obviously whatever age he has, if it's going to be Santa, you're going to have the white beard and so on, and do the whole red suit shit. But he does look old as fuck, and yeah, they're frozen in time. But how does the thing with the spouse work? Because it mentions by the narrator, he was very kind to give us the fact that the spouses also become immortal. What happens if he turns around to his wife and says, "You're divorced"? Does she just suddenly fucking die? Does age catch up with her? And she suddenly just wrinkles down into a fucking Hulk?
What about kids? Right, when you have kids, it's going to stay a baby forever?
Yeah. Well, that's a good fucking point. I never even thought about kids. I mean, I don't know, maybe part of the job is that you become sterile or something. Because if you're bringing kids into that, surely at that point, the first person years ago that became a saint, because I'm assuming he's not the first one, then wouldn't most of their ancestors be around the world by now, because generation after generation not fucking dying? It'd be a world of fucking immortals. Maybe that's how superheroes are born or something. I don't know. Maybe we're thinking too much into it. It is about a guy who flies around in a fucking sleigh delivering presents to every kid, and it's about his fucking brother. So maybe we do have a tendency, especially myself, to overthink this type of shit.
Yeah, we do. That's what I feel like doing now.
Well, the immortality thing, but it's like, as soon as like Rachel Weisz's character found out he was Santa, if I had learned about the immortality, Christ, I'd fucking marry her. I'd go and suck off Vince Vaughn for a bit of immortality.
Right. One thing I don't get about this, right? I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, right? You have a little bit of an intervention, don't they?
Yeah.
Right? So Rachel Weisz is there, Wanda, right? So she's there. She meets Santa. She goes to the North Pole. She flew to the North Pole on a sled, right? And then near the end, right, when he's coming back and he's got the Christmas presents for her and gives it to her, she goes, "Oh, I don't want to hear like any nonsense and stuff." I mean, it's like she's talking as if it never happened. I don't know if she's had like the Men in Black mind bloody wiping thing done on her.
Maybe. Well, no, because she kind of did know at the end what was going on, but I think it was just more of like his general nonsense that he brings to the table as
but
himself.
She was even saying, like, I'm fed up, like, why are you dressed up as Santa? Like, why are you dressed up as Santa coming into my house at this time of night and, like, doing all this? I'm fed up with all your tales.
Well, they do the little joy round Paris, don't they?
But that's later on, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's literally just after that scene. But
it's like...
No, I get what you mean. But when I mentioned before about what would have been a good thing to see, I think it would have been better to see how they kind of approach Wanda or Rachel Weisz. Whether they sent like an elf to fucking go and get her, and like that would have been funny to see, just like a fucking elf coming down her chimney and says,
freak this shit out.
we're doing an intervention for your fella Fred. We need to hop on this sleigh and go to the North Pole. I'd be like that. Jesus, is there a fucking gas leak in this flat or what? Because that you are not real. You, my little friend, you are not real. And then you'd poke it and you'd realise it was real and you'd be like, holy shit, Santa exists. Why have I not been writing to that fucker to pay for all my tech when I'm paying for it myself, you motherfucker? But the other thing as well, just going back to the beginning, if this fucker's immortal and has been alive for about 200 years, how is it that he's fucking broke and a fucking repo man?
Yeah, I'm speechless about that one, mate. That's a good point. Because it actually moves down now, doesn't it, to modern day times, and we see him as a repo man, living in his apartment on his own. Doesn't look like he's got a lot of furnishing inside.
Yeah, because I did find it quite funny because you've got Santa who gives him the gifts, and then he comes along and takes them away.
It's a good point, actually, isn't it? Yeah,
repo man. But yeah, I was thinking how if he's been alive that long. All he'd have to have done was fucking shoved like a tenner in an account back in 1800, and he'd been a millionaire today probably with inflation. I mean, how would you kind of get away with that though, having to kind of like change identities every now and then, or whether there's some kind of people who work for Santa who kind of take care for that shit?
There's a lot of logistics behind it, isn't there?
There is. It's probably best not to think too much into it, but I was wondering how you broke. How you broke?
Maybe he had an alcohol addiction at one point.
Looks maybe. Like you never fucking know.
And then we find out, obviously, he doesn't like Christmas whatsoever, does he? And when he gets in the taxi.
Surprise, surprise. Vince Vaughn being cynical. Who'd have thought, eh?
Oh, what do you think about the taxi scene with the radio?
The what?
On the radio. It's like, here's comes Santa Claus, isn't it? And then he changes the radio station over and it's like dogs doing it. And then turns it over again and then it's cats making the songs.
I completely missed that. When did that happen?
In the taxi ride.
What taxi ride?
The taxi driver says, turn the radio station over. And it's like dogs going, ruff, 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 ruff. So he turns it over again, and then it's cats. And he goes, meow, 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 meow. And he gets out and walks.
No, I'm completely fucking missed that. I must have been sleeping through it because I don't remember him being in a taxi at all.
Right,
I've watched this twice, and I don't recall him seeing him in any fucking taxi. Can we pull it up?
I'll get it up for you now for you.
You mind changing the station for me, pal?
It's your buck, buddy.
Can you change that again, please?
Come on, I like that one. That's a good one.
Can you pull over, please?
Come on, we're still 15 blocks.
Mate, no, I did not notice that, no.
I thought I was tripping out then when I was saying it, and you're like, nope, just looking at me dead-eyed like, nope, didn't happen.
Literally, I watched this twice this week, and I don't remember that scene. And I for once, I didn't fall asleep through any of the viewings. I might have.
It must have been a good film then.
Maybe my mind just thought, no, this is too much for you. I'm gonna block it out. So then he's meeting up with his realtor or something, isn't he? Because he needs to get 50 grand for something. He wants to rent he wants to start some kind of casino or something.
Yes, he wants to try and get a casino or a Buc-ee's or something across the way from, like, is it Wall Street or something like that? One of them.
Yeah, but for some reason they need a $50,000 down payment or something, and then the guy seriously doesn't seem like he has that money. So what's his big bright idea to try and make some fucking money? He decides to stand on the corner as a charity Santa and try and make. How are you going to make 50 grand doing that? I'm not being funny. How are you going to make 50 grand from taking donations from people walking past when there's about, as you see later on, there's about another 100 fucking Santas down the street? And also, he's there for what seems like a couple of hours. Like, there's a bit of a montage of people coming along and him coercing people in the street and, give to, what was the charity called? Like, Charity for People, or the People's Charity or something like that.
Is it the people helping people?
Yeah,
Something
people
like that,
helping
anyway.
people or something like that. And it's like, and he must have been there for about 3 hours before the Santa, who's literally 10 yards from him, suddenly notices him that he's there and comes over and starts kicking off, saying, "Have you got a fucking permit?
Yeah, have you got a permit, buddy? You
got a permit?"
I don't need a permit. I'm on the internet. We're the people for the people.
yeah. But then he gets chased by about 100 Santas through the streets because he runs off. Obviously, because they're threatening to call the police. And then as he's running past every fucking other Santa that seems to be every fucking 10 yards throughout this fucking city.
It's like the Joy Nando. It's like a massive conga line, isn't it? Chasing him.
Yeah, and then the fucking idiot runs indoors somewhere, and then he has a fight with the Santas in like a toy
shop.
section. Yeah, which was quite funny, to be fair. When he has them, what was it, the wet floor signs?
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm gonna fucking kick your ass," and just starts fucking battering him.
Did you notice the sound
Pile on.
effects?
No.
Again, this is what I'm saying about sound effects and stuff. They had like, the old Batman things where it's like whoosh and bop and stuff like that. And they tried to make it too comical. And it's another scene a little bit later on when he fights the DJ in his office.
I noticed some weird sound effects when them ninja bodyguard fucking little fellas are trying to get him. I think they tie him up to take him to his intervention, and there's a load of fucking weird sound effects coming from the office then.
Yeah.
I noticed that, but I didn't notice it on any of the others.
So it happens here as well. I'll try and get it over quickly. So as he's running down the street, a car comes.
Yeah.
And then he gets past the car and they all start jumping over the car. So it's these noises now.
Oh shit! Boing, ding, dong, ding, boing, boing,
It's really not needed.
Mate, I never even noticed that.
Yeah, there's loads of like little noises like that. So I don't know who the hell done the sound on this, but it's absolutely terrible. Who thought it'd be a good idea when people are sliding across the cars, go boing, ding, boing, ding, ding, a spring going off? It's like, it doesn't make sense.
I did notice it, like I said, on my second watch, because there's similar noises coming from the his office when the little Santa's bodyguards are attacking him to get him to the intervention. I noticed that there was I noticed them sound effects then, but I hadn't picked up on it any other.
Yeah, I'll get that up now as well for that section.
Have you noticed the screen wipes as well? Like when it transitions to some screens. I don't know if you'll notice it, it's very subtle, but the way it kind of does like a screen transition, it reminded me of Star Wars, like the same way George Lucas used to do his scene cuts.
Yeah. I think now you mention it. Yeah, they have done it quite a few times.
Yeah.
I've got the sound clip again. This is the other part when they're going for the intervention. What is that about? Again, you can hear like cups getting smashed around. There's no cutlery in that room. It's paper.
Exactly. There's just paper, a desk, and a chair. That was literally all that's in that room. But it's like someone's got one of them fucking whistles, you know.
Yeah, the clangers.
Yeah, like the fucking clangers, yeah. Oh, mate.
Maybe it was them in the background talking to each other.
It might be where they live.
Oh, there were meet his missus as well.
Yeah.
Wanda, the parking ticket attendant.
Oh, God. What was with her accent? I know Rachel Weisz is from London, but she's not a Cockney when I've heard her in interviews and stuff like that, but she's putting on a really, 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 really fucking bad Cockney. I'd say he was almost Australian.
A bit like Kano.
Like Kano from Mortal Kombat last week. If you've not seen that one, get that one watched. There's a character in that who everyone thought was Australian because of the really bad Cockney accent they did. But Rachel Weisz's Cockney accent, it's so put on. It's like, can you do
Mary
a Cockney
Poppins.
accent? It's like
Mary Poppins, isn't it?
Like fucking, it's like where Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins. It's basically like she's mimicking him. But yeah, it's really bad and it really wound me up. I don't know if you can get a sample of it up.
I'll try and find something, while you're talking.
But yeah, it's just really bad. And the fact that she's British anyway, it's the same with, like we were saying, from Kano in Mortal Kombat from last week. He was British as well. He was from Surrey. And yet, for some reason, they're making him do a Cockney accent. I don't know whose idea it was, whether it's hers, whether it's the director, whether it's the producer, the casting person, or whoever else fucking works on the film. But there was no need for it to be done. She could have just been British.
Yeah, I've got a scene here now where she's shouting out the window.
Fred, will you go home right this minute?
Wanda, there's this unfortunate business
Sounds
situation I
bad.
have to leave for tonight.
You what?
Look, there's a business
You
situation
what?
that I'm in with my brother.
Apples and pears?
Freddie, when we first met, I said, have you got a brother or a sister? And you said to me, no, Wanda, I don't.
Technically,
Get out my pub.
Get out my pub.
Watching too much EastEnders.
Apples and pears.
It did make me laugh though at the time because a little bit of scene before that, what we just talked about, when we meet Wanda and they're in the restaurant, well, little diner anyway, isn't it? And he's saying like, "Oh, I've got you a present. I've got you a good present. We're going out to the top restaurant." He looks up like bonsai or something like that, but then it says below it, extreme Japanese experience. And it turns out again when she's there, she's sat there on her own, isn't she?
Is that what it says? I miss that. I know later on when he's sat there and he's in, because obviously after the Santa fight he goes to jail, doesn't he? Well, he gets arrested, and when he's trying to ring her and she's there, that scene was hilarious because she's there and there's like a load of frat boys around her, and literally behind her are two guys in a cage fighting.
And again, sound effects, right? What are going off on that? There's some crazy sound effects. It's the same thing again.
Really?
Yeah. So I'll try and get it up again.
What are them sound effects?
It sounds like putty. Don't you get the kids with slime?
Oh, it sounds like someone plunging a toilet.
Who would think for somebody getting thrown against a cage, right? Instead of being like a bang or something,
A wooden cage.
What is that about?
I know.
If someone's actually getting paid, right, top dollar as well, right? Because you're on a big budget film.
$100 million film.
Exactly right. And you're the sound engineer for this to make the sounds when someone's like walking through the snow or something. And you go, do you know what would be a good idea when someone's getting thrown against a wooden cage? Fart noises.
Maybe he was farting right in Rachel Weisz's face. Because at one point she does look behind like that. But yeah, imagine taking your missus to that restaurant. I'd be castrated.
It was quite a funny scene though, to be fair, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Another thing as well. What is it with Slam?
Oh, that little kid. I had no idea why she was even in the film, to be honest.
Just the thing is, Fred, he's meant to be 40 years old, but really he's 340 years old, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a 10-year-old kid coming through his window, chilling out in the living room watching telly.
I was wondering that. It's like, well, at first of all, does his parents know he's there? But then we find out that his dad died like a fucking month or something ago. But it's like, yeah, what is it with that? It's
Creepy.
Most people have a stray cat, and he's got a little fucking kid that comes to his.
Climbs through literally the fire exit door.
Yeah.
So he comes through the window, so none of the neighbours see a kid coming through the front door. It's like, Slam, do us a favour, mate, just climb the ladder. They're coming that way. Don't tell anybody. It's our little secret. After all, Santa Claus is my brother.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Wouldn't need a DBS check if you can say, "Oh, Santa's me brother."
That's it.
He loves kids, you know.
Honestly, it's proper nonsense.
It is a bit nonsense, but yeah. So he rings Santa, doesn't he? And says, "I need bail money, five grand and shit like that." And then he says, "Oh," then he thinks, "Oh, actually, I can probably get 50 grand out of this motherfucker." So he tries to confuse him with figures and shit, doesn't he? Anyway,
Proper con man technique, that isn't it? You give me 5, I will give you 10. Then you give me 50, then I'll make it into that 50 into 60. And then like we're both good then, aren't we? Because I've got 50 grand, you're 10 grand up, so you got your 60.
yeah, pretty much. He's fucking trying to screw his own fucking brother. Not only his own brother, a saint. Not only a saint, fucking Father Christmas. Who the fuck does he think this fucker is?
And he give him immortality.
Exactly. It's not his fault that you did fuck all with it and that you're poor as fuck after living for like 300 years and your brother's up in the North Pole running a whole fucking village, and we'll get to that in a bit, a whole manufacturing operation where I assume they give gifts for free, but a lot of that shit don't really make sense.
The child labourer.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, well, I'll talk about the elves in a little bit when we get to them, but it's fucking weird.
It is a little bit. But I've got to be honest with you, right? That scene, I thought it was quite sad in a way, because when Nick's talking to Fred on the phone, he's like, "I'll give it you, but you've got to come up here for it."
Yeah.
And then like it goes a bit of a more dramatic then. You start realising that he's never actually been up to visit his brother or anything, has he?
I know that was a bit sad and a bit weird and what have you. It's like,
You kind of feel sorry for Nick, don't you? Because he's got to try and bribe his brother to come up and visit him.
yeah, there's that, but also from the character I've seen so far, I'm surprised that motherfucker's not been up there mooching him every fucking year with his fucking moochie bag saying, "Give me some money, fucking Nick." I mean, look at all this operation you've got. I'm surprised he's not been in there in the fucking workshop nicking iPads and shit.
I was about to say that. It's like, yeah, I'll take that phone, I'll take that bike.
Yeah.
That looks a nice electric e-bike. Let's take that.
I know.
It's like 500 quid.
Have a little side project going on eBay or something. My God. But yeah, the fact that he's never been up there and he's like you say, he's giving him immortality and all that shit. It's not his fault you've wasted it, mate.
Mm.
I mean, you're off your tits. But the fact that he's never been up there, but it is a bit sad that he has to say to his brother, look, I'll lend you the money, but I just want to see you. Because, you know, they're trying to get that across, that he never spends any time with his family and stuff like that. That is kind of like the kind of underlying plot to the story. Kind of trying to get this family back together. Because what did he do? Just annoy you a few times when you're a kid. Yeah, he chopped down a tree while you were in it. But there's no reason to stop talking to your brother, especially when he's fucking loaded.
Yeah. But he's always been jealous of him, hasn't he? Because,
well,
and to be honest with you, it's probably his mum's fault, if anything, because that's where I start to feel sorry for him as a character, Fred. Because his mum is always saying, why are you not more like
Why?
Nick?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just like, when you can't say that to your kid.
Constantly describing him as a saint, showing favoritism. And she's like, yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, to be honest, to be fair, I'm surprised he's not turned out as a serial killer or something.
It could be Jeffrey Dahmer.
That's the whole thing with the film as well. When the other like kind of premise is no kids, there are no bad kids, there are no naughty kids, they all should deserve a present. Sorry, you've never heard of like Mary Bell or kids that killed Jamie Bulger? I mean, they were bad fucking kids. And that slam goes right to the top of the worldwide naughty list just because he happens to punch someone in the stomach. He has one little fight and goes right to the top. Fuck off. What about all the child soldiers out there that are killing people and shit? I know it's not their fault and I'm not condoning any of this shit. I don't know why I have to say this type of shit every week when I make a comment. I'm not condoning. I don't condone anything. It's just a fucking film. All I'm doing is just pointing out that there's worse kids in the world than someone in an orphanage who happens to be punching one of his little gobshite mates because they have a disagreement and then somehow goes to the world's naughtiest list. Why did he even have prominent place a top 10 naughty list anyway?
You know, for facts, if kids knew about that, they'll be aiming to be at the top.
Of course they would. Of course they would. It'd be a badge of fucking honour, that.
It's a top 10 list.
Number one. Mate, every fucking kid in the world would be trying to get on top of that, just trying to get fucking some points at school and shit.
Yeah, what did you think about Willis, the elf?
Willie just creeped me the fuck out. I don't know what they were doing with the CGI with these elves, but it's like they just, mate, ludicrous.
Okay, right. Other than ludicrous, right, I don't think they've done a bad job, right? Because I think Willie looked quite good, especially when they were next to each other doing the dancing and stuff. I quite liked the way they did it. When they're walking down the road was okay. When they're in the bed above each other, that was quite good. But then you get Ludacris. That was just terrible.
Ludacris. So Ludacris has a cameo in this, and it looks like they've just got a kid to film the scenes. And then after all the filming's been done, and he's had his little fight with Vince Vaughn and so on with Fred, they just superimpose Ludacris's face on to this little kid who's obviously done the scene, which just creeped me the fuck out. But going back to Willie, I don't know, some of the scenes when they first arrive in the North Pole and they're getting off the sled and they're walking next to each other,
yeah,
it has a bit of an uncanny valley vibe to it. Like almost like I couldn't really pinpoint how they had done this effect, whether they've just shrunk it down in post or whether, like I said, with Ludacris, they've got another actor, a smaller actor to do it.
Yeah, it was obvious with Ludacris though, wasn't it?
It was obvious with Ludacris, but with him it wasn't, but it wasn't perfect, and it did kind of, every now and then you'd kind of notice that there's something funky going on. But why they just didn't hire, I don't know how you refer to them politically correct nowadays, but little people. Why you just didn't hire some little people? There's plenty of good little people actors. Peter Dinklage, for instance. I know it was 2007 and he got his big break in Game of Thrones. You'd think that there's give some of them a chance. I mean, even the rest of the elves that are kicking about, you know, they're just normal actors that have been shrunk down. Because there are a few faces as I was going through that I noticed who were playing elves. They never really had any big parts in it, but there was a couple that I did pick up on.
Saying that, this was out in 2007, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, you're saying about Peter Dinklage, right? In 2003 was Elf.
Was he in that?
Yeah, he was the guy who does all the books.
Oh, right.
No, who comes down to trying to help them with the books. And he's like meant to be dead scary and stuff. And the actual say to Will like, whatever you do, don't say anything about elves or little people and stuff. That's him who has the fight in the boardroom. So technically, he could have played Willie.
Or like Warwick Davis or something, because like, have you ever seen Harry Potter?
Yeah, he is in about 6 different characters, isn't he?
I know. It's like, since he was in Star Wars, he's kind of took every main dwarf character going in Hollywood, and even like you say in Harry Potter, he plays about 17 different people.
Oh yeah, he took that ball and ran with it.
Oh, I know. Good on him, like. And then, do you know, like we were talking about before, them little ninja guys, First of all, why the fuck does Santa need a bodyguard? Who's going all the way to the North Pole to try and fucking kill Santa in the first place? And second of all, I hate it when they get like little people and then dub the voices with a dead deep voice, like to try and make it comical. It's been done, and it's just ridiculous.
They are actual dwarfs, them three.
Them three were, yeah.
Yeah, because they were the actual only dwarfs in the whole of the thing.
Yeah, like the little people. But yeah, then when they're talking, it's like they dub the voice, so it's like dead deep. Like why did he do that? It's like, you know, I think they did it in Austin Powers with Mini-Me. Like the only time he talked, he was like kind of a really deep voice. Was it that? Anyway, they've done it in films before, and it's been done, and it's not that fucking funny. But like going back to it, why the fuck does he even need bodyguards? I mean, who the fuck's out there trying to kill Santa?
The proper kicks his ass, love.
Oh, they did kick his ass, yeah.
But they like do a little Power Ranger move, sticking around our springboard.
I know. I just don't know why he was there. I just don't get it. Just don't get it. I just don't rightly know.
One thing I didn't quite get though. Right, so this is the scene now where we actually meet Charlene for the first time.
Yeah.
And hot damn.
I don't know.
Damn, she looks good in that. It's probably because of the outfit, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, she looks quite hot in that. But why is she the only normal height person other than Father Christmas?
I don't know. Maybe she's just Santa's little side piece. I mean, immortality with the same fucking woman. I mean, he's probably got bored and probably shipped her in and said, come on, I'll give you a job, but I'm going to finger bang you every now and then. Just don't tell Mrs. Claus.
There's got to be something in it, isn't there?
I know. And how do you not remember the name Willie? I mean, if I ever met someone in real life that goes by the name Willie, I would remember that name because I'd be laughing at it behind his back every 5 fucking minutes. He's called Willie.
You call yourself William or Will?
And twice she does it, and it's like, oh, what's your name?
I think she's trying not to be rude.
And then he's got this massive crush on her. The little Willie. Little Willie's got
That's
this
probably why they did it.
Little Willie's got this little crush on her and she doesn't even know who he is, and he's a bit of a stalker, isn't he? But is she an elf? Is she immortal? Is she what like you say, what the fuck is she doing there?
I think she's human, mate, to be honest with you, but
maybe.
It doesn't really explain anything, does it? Like why is she there other than, you know, why is she the only human type thing? Is it a type of like elf where she crawled into these Santa's sack or something when he was delivering a present, got back to the toy shop, baby comes out.
Because invites him up there but doesn't find him a good place to stay because he makes him stay at Willie's house. And like I must admit that was quite funny with the legs over the end of the bed and what have you. But Willie does make a comment, says, oh, I've not had anyone stay on the top bunk for 100 years. Why'd he slav it then? After 100 fucking years, get the hint. No one's going to be staying up there. Why do you even fucking have it? 100 fucking years. Mate, if I had it for 5 years and didn't use it, I'd be getting rid of it.
That's right. How often do you change your bed though in general? You probably get rid of a bed after about 10 years, don't you?
That's what I mean. And it's like, oh, no one stayed in that bed for 100 years.
That's a good point. I didn't clock on to that, you know.
Get fucking rid of it then.
I've got to be honest with you, I quite like the relationship built up as well between Fred and Willie.
Yeah, it was quite a good little relationship.
Yeah, because at first, obviously, he's a little bit hostile towards Willie, isn't he, and stuff. But then, after helping him doing the dancing, that was quite a good scene.
Oh, the fucking dancing.
Doing dancing. Have you got something to say?
It's just twice I watched Vince Vaughn dance in this film. The first one when he gets sick of the elf DJ playing the same song over and over again, and that little dance scene was just the cringiest fucking thing in the world.
Have they been routine planned that? Because that was bang on synchronization, wasn't it, when the dancing?
They must have done. They must have just been. It's like the elves were aching. It's almost like that's why they play the same song over and over and over again, because they don't want to start a fucking dance off. Because them elves seem to love the fucking music. A couple of them were moaning, "Oh, it's not very good music." But all it took was Vince Vaughn to walk through doing a few fucking finger guns, going through the workshop like this, and then all of a sudden they're all fucking raving like it's like the fucking Limp Bizkit concert or something. And he's on stage doing his dance like. And it's just like, what? No, get down now.
It was a shit cheesy scene. That's another scene that didn't really need to be in it, did it?
It did not need to be in it.
But then again, maybe they had the same song on repeat all the time. It's like torture. You know what I mean? Where like play music, you can't go to sleep, or you play the same song over and over and over. It's like,
well, that's what I was going to say. So, like when I mentioned before about the elves, so we have Kevin Spacey's character come along from nowhere, and he reports to the board. I'll go into that in a minute. But he makes a comment because they happen to walk into the room while he's having this dance scene, and he says, "Your elves aren't very disciplined, or you've not disciplined your elves." And I was thinking, how the fuck does Santa discipline his elves? I mean, does he have like a timeout cupboard? Does he spank them? I mean, because I don't think he's paying these fucking things. And
plays the same music over and over.
well, that's it. Like you say, it's basically a North Pole sweatshop playing the same music, but they seem to fucking love it. But they're all kind of brainwashed into kind of like toy making. The whole concept just kind of I don't know what's going on, but I'd love to see how he disciplines him. Do you think he whips him?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's like a mind control. When this song is playing, they're obedient.
Here comes Santa Claus. Here
they're
comes
like going
Santa
to
Claus.
trance and just
Santa Claus way.
start doing what they're doing.
Maybe because as soon as he changed the music, it's
Straight away.
All hell breaks
Changed.
loose.
Yeah, I think it's like mind control, mate. I think something dark is going on in the North Pole.
Well, Kevin Spacey's character, just going back to him, what the fuck was that whole thing about? Because first of all, he says he's there from HR, flies in a chopper. He's there from HR as an efficiency expert, and he says he reports to the board. Then he mentions that he's introduced a one tooth policy to the Tooth Fairy. They're getting rid of the Easter Bunny and shit like that. Who the fuck's this board? Why does Santa report to anyone? He's a fucking saint. What I don't get why he was there. I know it's like they were just sat around thinking, right, what we need some kind of antagonist in this. That's who's going to have the power to shut the North Pole down and shit like that. They could have gone in any direction. They could have gone with the state of the world where there's Christmas spirit or something along them lines. But no, they send in Kevin Spacey as someone from HR from some place called the board saying,
I think it's the Freemasons.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
The Illuminati.
I think it's the Illuminati. They're the board.
What the fuck? And then he's talking about projections and he's got like a little slideshow and he's saying kids in the 1800s only asked for one toy, but kids in 2007 now ask for an average of 5 toys. Blah, 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 blah. Figures. Well, first of all, no one's paying for this shit anyway, so you're not making any money. So what does it fucking matter that you don't deliver it to every fucking kid? It makes no sense. There's no reason for him to be there. And then he decides that he's going to give him a free strike policy and then gives him a strike straight away. And then when he walks in and sees Fred having a dance off just because his elves happen to be having a 5-minute fucking break, which is fucking well deserved after 200 fucking years. My fucking God, let them listen to some other music other than "Here Comes Santa Claus, Here Comes Santa Claus." And so they take 5 minutes of a break and he comes in and goes, "You need to get your elves under control. Remember, you need to discipline them. I take one of them out back now and shoot them as an example for the rest of them, and then hook the body up to the top of the workshop, hanging from there as an example, so everyone else knows that they need to be fucking working. Do it now, or I'm giving you a fucking strike." Now that never actually happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you don't know it really. It could have been on the side of the panel, like when the camera's not on shot type of thing. It's like 6 elves hanging.
Maybe. I would not be surprised because it's just a sinister way he says, "Oh, your elves aren't disciplined." How the fuck do you discipline an elf? The cutest little fucking fella who were there doing this out of the goodness of their heart, making kids for toys. You don't need to... Just give them 5 minutes to have a dance-off with your brother. Your brother gets it. Your brother fucking gets it. And just because Mr. HR here is down here to down fucking size, which makes no fucking sense, like I say.
I'm going to say, I love your rants. It just goes like one extreme to the other. Oh my God.
They're just dangling elves from the roof though. Either that or they've got like one of them posts in the town square where they whip one a day. 10 lashes for you, Willie.
I think it's more of like, if you treat them well, no happy worker's an effective worker.
What kind of communist motherfucking shit is that? No, but I know what you mean.
Better than bloody torture in a minute.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But
let's get one of medieval cast iron balls and stick one in and like fire underneath. It's like, do you want to be like this elf here? You get making toys, boy. Like, okay, we'll do it. Meanwhile, Willow's getting baked alive in a bloody metal bull.
The metal bull.
What when you think about some of the medieval torture things back in the day?
Fucking Iron Maiden and all that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Just think, right. It was probably someone's job being paid at the time, like the king's bloody second hand or something like that, thinking, how can we torture somebody this week? Come up with ideas.
Getting whipped by a wet towel will be mine. You're like, no, I have to fucking tell you anything. Put the towel down. No. Don't you fucking dare. What do you want to know? Just fucking, I'll tell you anything. What do you want to know?
Do you like the film Braveheart?
Yeah, when he gets hung, drawn and quartered at the end.
I love that film. It's so long and you just forget what happens in it, don't you? And when you rewatch it later on, you're like, I don't remember this scene happening.
I love that film. My parents love that film, and my sister loved that film, and so we used to watch it a lot. So I could probably do that film word by word.
Yeah, we'll probably do that on one of the spin-off episodes when we do 6 and above. But anyway, let's get back to this week's film, Fred Claus.
Is there anything you want to say about that stupid fucking dance-off scene or whatever? You mentioned about doing dance lessons with Willie.
Oh no, that's just earlier on. I quite like that scene. Yeah, I was just saying, no, it's when they're building up the bond and stuff, the way he's trying to help him build up the confidence for Charlie, and then she walks in, doesn't she, when he falls over.
One thing as well is when before they do the dance scene, they both go to the toilet together, and there's a bit of a joke that there's kiddie toilets there, and all I'm thinking is I'm hoping, number one, that they never actually did what I thought and had kids play the characters and then superimpose the face on. And I just hope that he didn't get his dick out while they filmed that scene.
Yeah, actually kind of reminded me of that scene. Is it Mr. Big, the Adam Sandler one, where he has the stepkid for his finger?
Oh, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, that's the
Be
one.
Big Daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of like on that, because on the front cover of that, isn't it? He's like stood there taking a piss,
Oh,
and the
he's
kid's
pissing
next
on
to
the
him.
wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That reminded me of that a little bit, from, to be honest.
But then the Kevin Spacey character is like he's some kind of evil fucking antagonist from HR, like I say. But then they go to have dinner at the parents' house, don't they? Because he's like,
Oh, sorry, quickly. Just while we're talking about the dance and that lot with Vince Vaughn in all the elves and stuff in the room.
yeah.
Don't you think that was kind of a bit of a rip-off from Elf? Because when Will Ferrell's down in the postal room and starts dancing everywhere with all the other people.
Can I make a little confession here?
Don't say you've never seen
I've
Elf.
never seen Elf.
You've not seen Elf?
No, no, sorry, I lie. I've seen the end of Elf, but I've never seen. I'm not a Will Ferrell fan, to be honest. I know. People give me that look when I say it.
You've never seen Elf?
I've never seen Elf.
Oh my God, Elf, right, is a must-see Christmas film. Every single year, you got to watch it. It's a fantastic film. It really is. That came out 20 years ago now.
I know it's been out a while, but it's just I've just never. It's not a film that I've kind of fancied because I'm not a Will Ferrell fan. I get the gist of it because people have quoted it to me over the years and shit like that, so I kind of get what happens. He's an elf that happens to end up in Santa's workshop and then goes to find his dad in the real world because he finally tell him that he's not actually a real elf or some bollocks. And then his dad turns out to be James Caan.
Yeah, so the scene that I'm actually referring to on Elf is he goes to his dad's works, and it's in like Wall Street type shit, right? Where they have like kids' books and stuff. Obviously, that's why you didn't know Peter Dinklage was in that.
I was just playing along before saying, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. But no, didn't have a fucking clue. It's good acting though, wasn't it? Better than Vince Vaughn.
So anyway, right, what happens is, right, as a bit of punishment, so Buddy's been quite annoying that to his dad. So his dad puts him down in the mail room in the basement.
Yeah.
And it's like a little bit like the Elf's Workshop here, where everyone's dead fed up and bored and all the same thing. They're dreary. He has a little bit of a drink of whiskey, and then next minute he starts having a dance on the table and gets everybody in the mail room stop working and are having a party. And then the production goes down because like letters or parcels not like turning up everywhere instead of actually being in the proper place. A little bit like this.
Oh, so you think they've ripped this off from Elf?
Yeah, 100%.
So did I take it Elf came out first then?
Yeah. So the next scene that we'll come to is when they're at a dinner party, isn't it? So Nick's outside trying to tell Fred, come in for the dinner, come in.
Yeah.
Then he sees his mum, he starts freaking out, doesn't want anything to do with it. And then next scene comes inside the house, and who's there?
Fucking Clive, whoever his name is, Kevin Spacey.
Clyde.
Mate, I'd have kicked that motherfucker right out of there. I'd be like, no. I'm sorry. You're not having dinner with my family. I don't care that my parents have invited you. But no, boundaries, mate. Boundaries. Don't be coming into my family business. It's got nothing to do with this shit. Just fuck off and get out.
Straight away, wouldn't he? Just turn around and say, yeah, it's nice for you to be here and stuff like that, but unfortunately, no.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Off you go.
Or at this point, you'd at least taken Fred to one side and told him who this guy was.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's like Fred starts, pull his finger out a little bit and starts helping a little bit.
Yeah, because it's like they have a bit of a family argument in front of him, and he makes that comment, doesn't he? Oh, I love what is it? I love spending time with people's families. You learn so much.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you cheeky fucker. We just had an argument in front of you. Get the fuck out of my house. But no, seriously though, if you're going to let him stay, because obviously he's in a bit of a weird position where he can't really say something like that, that being like a perfect fucking ideal world. You'd at least say, Fred, can I just have a word? Right, I need you to be on your best behaviour, mate, because this guy here is from the board, the Illuminati, HR, So you need to be on your best behaviour here, mate, and you need to please don't fucking show me up.
That's
I
it.
mean,
you can tell how sly he is as well, isn't it? Straight away, no, the look on his face, he's enjoying it. Like they're having the argument. He's like, yeah, I've got a bit of dirt on these now.
I think he's just Kevin Spacey, though. I think he just has resting cunt face.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine he's probably not a very nice guy in real life. I don't know him, but he kind of, you get that impression from him, from some of the roles he does. I mean, he plays a dickhead quite well, like in Horrible Bosses. Have you seen him in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine he's probably like that in real life.
Yeah, I think he's a bit like that as well.
Just a bit of a douchebag.
Yeah, definitely.
Kaiser
Is.
Sose.
That's it.
What's with Santa's snow globe that you can like see anyone on Earth just by asking them, but not only see them on Earth, it's almost like at one point he looks back and sees what Fred did when he's in the office stamping everyone as nice a bit later on. But it's a bit creepy, that, isn't it?
Yes, but technically it must be always recording, isn't it? If you can see what previous events are like.
I know.
Like, yeah, it's quite invasive, that, isn't it? Just imagine somebody actually had the power of that and watching us right now doing a podcast.
I know, right?
But Fred actually uses this, doesn't it, to spy on Wanda a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you notice who the guy was?
Yeah, it's that, what's his name?
Negan from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But it's before he got famous, obviously, got his big break.
Yeah.
But as soon as I seen him, I was like, no way, there he is. 2 minutes later, he's going off now, smashing the zombies in the head with the baseball bats.
Yeah, the fact that he spies on his missus with it as well. And like he mentions a crack about looking up the Swedish bathing suit competition, Swedish bathing suit team or something. Having a look at them. But you know Fred sneaking in there in the evenings and having a quick wank. But then
Wanda, what are you doing?
But then later on as well, because obviously we find out because towards the end, Fred goes on a bit of a, when he finds out that Slam's made it to the top of the naughty list, he starts going on that every kid should have a fucking toy and starts marking them all as fucking nice. And then they replay it back, don't they, in the video. But earlier on in the film, when Kevin Spacey's character sneaks into Fred's office and starts shredding all the forms so they lose a whole city.
That's right, yeah.
And then Fred's there protesting his innocence. Why did he just go to the snow globe and say, show us his office like 2 hours ago? And he would have seen Kevin Spacey's character shredding the shit. Why did he just do that?
That's a good point. Use your technology, your creepy technology, to your advantage.
That's it. You record in his office anyway, because we see the scene when he's going stamp happy. But yeah, you'd at least say, or even just say to one of the little fellas, listen, Elfie, fucking Willie, just replay that back and see if you can find out what actually happened to these files. And then he'd have seen fucking Kevin Spacey going a bit nuts, fucking shredding files and that.
That's a very good point, actually. I didn't really think about it that way.
Big plot hole there, man.
It's probably something from like Minority Report, isn't that?
Basically, it's like precog, mate. Santa edition. But the other thing as well, like things that kind of don't make sense in this, obviously the whole Santa and elves and blah, blah, blah. But the fact that it's the North Pole in December, right? But it's daylight there. In the North Pole in December, it's dark 24 hours a day.
Yeah, it isn't. It's completely dark all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, and then most of the scenes, it's like 4 days to Christmas, and then they have nice sun-filled days and shit like that, and it's like bullshit. It would be dark.
Talking about things that don't make sense. You know the sleigh ride when he's coming down with Willie? Have you noticed the clothing and the hat that he's wearing? The sleigh's traveling like 1,000 miles per hour. And like the hat and the hair is staying perfectly still.
Oh, I know.
There's no like wind blowing it. You would think like if you're filming a scene like that where they're wearing loose clothing and you're traveling on a sleigh doing like 1,500 miles per hour, you'd get a wind machine off the camera, so it looks like it's actual traveling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you would, definitely. That doesn't make sense. And also, like, the thing with the darkness as well, when they are doing the deliveries and they're going around the world, 1 minute they're in, like, fucking Asia, and then they're in America, and then they're in Europe, and then they're in London, and so like that. But yeah, it's all night. It's
not
like...
efficiently, is it?
No, they go from, like, all around the fucking globe, but it all seems to be the same fucking time. It's like, it's always night there, and it's like...
See, I had to think about this as well. So saying to Leanne, it's like, one, why are they going like to Paris, then to China, then to America, then going back to Paris, right?
Exactly.
Why every single kid's got to get a present delivered?
Yeah.
Right? Not every single house has a chimney, but on that montage, every single house has a chimney when they're coming down.
Yep.
Right? Delivers one parcel to one house, jumps in the sled, buggers off. It's like, what about that house next door? New house on the road. Do you know what I mean? Have they not got like kids there or something?
They must just be going down alphabetical order and fuck location. It just don't make any sense. But I think you just gotta not think too much into it in this film. But and then going back to the Kevin Spacey character, when he's initially talking and he's doing his little spreadsheet and shit, like, not spreadsheet, his little presentation, his little PowerPoint presentation and shit. He mentions about outsourcing it all, outsourcing it to fucking where? You're already using fucking slave labor with the elves. You're gonna go to the South Pole for what? For what fucking
South Pole are doing it.
What's down in the South Pole that they're gonna be able to get it cheaper than this? It's not like it's
penguins.
maybe, because I'm pretty sure they're not paying them fucking elves. I'm pretty sure that's a slave labor force there. We've already talked
that is
about
why they got to change it from elves to penguins. You don't have to pay an animal.
Are elves classed as humans? Would they fall under the?
You cannot go there. Call little people not human.
Well, no, they're not just little people. They're elves. I mean, look at their ears.
What about dwarfs?
Well, dwarfs aren't elves. Don't sit there telling me that a dwarf is an elf.
No, but
they're still human.
I know, but it's somebody with like a growth defect.
I'm sorry, but I'm not having a conversation about whether dwarfs and little people are humans. I'm literally talking about elves. The elves in this film.
Elves are human.
Elves are not human.
You got 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 nose. Everything a person has, same biology, just a little bit of a height degrowth.
And the ears.
Yeah, the ears as
and don't they have like elf magic?
No.
Anyway, I'm
Bad
pretty
guy,
sure.
Eric, bad guy.
I'm pretty sure they don't have human rights. So, and they're not paying him anyway. So if they did have human rights, then Santa has a lot to answer for because he has a lot of fucking slaves there.
I'm very sorry if any elves were offended during the filming of this.
Yeah, sorry, Elfie, but
Never been to a Renaissance fair.
no, because I'm not a virgin.
Because you got wood elves, you got the tree elves, you got Santa's elves.
You've been to one, haven't you?
No, I would like to go, to be fair.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you generally go?
I generally would go, Ray. So after all this, what happens? They get the third and final strike, don't they? After a little snowball fight.
Yeah, because like I mentioned before about Fred gets a bit stamp happy, and because he decides that even the naughty kids deserve presents as well, and just because he's stamped them, that they now all of a sudden have to give them a present. I don't know why Santa just didn't turn around and say, well, no, we'll fucking quickly recheck them and just say, no, the naughty ones aren't having them. I mean, because he seems to have already made up his mind whether they're naughty or not, because otherwise he'd just be like, oh, well, they're all been good this year. Fair enough. But yeah, it's so apparently because they can't make their quota of giving every fucking kid a gift because now there's too many fucking kids, nice kids apparently. Fuck you, Santa. Every kid deserves a present.
I think it do. I think they do.
Except for Jamie from Jingle All the Way. That kid can suck a dick. I reckon in that film, watch our last podcast, Jingle All the Way, because that kid annoyed the shit out of me, and I'm very clear about why. But I bet Arnie's character in that film just spent most of his time wondering why he never just pulled out. That kid should have ended up on a fucking tissue.
Oh my god.
But anyway, no, not
Happy
every kid deserves a gift.
Happy and cheerful, Eric, again.
So anyway, him and Santa have a snowball fight, and then Santa tries to fucking kill him by running him over with a fucking snowmobile.
I mean, technically, would it have killed him though? Because is he immortal? Can he die from like an illness?
Well, that goes back to the immortal question as well. You have a full-on fucking fight, and at one point he's choking Santa. And it's like, I know your brothers and shit, but that's like attempted murder, that shit.
That scene done me in a little bit, actually, because it's quite cheesy. No one is trying to choke him up from behind. Santa's got his tongue out going, ah!
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, come on.
Do you know
making it a bit
well,
too cheesy.
Paul Giamatti, Santa, when he goes to pick up his snowball, he kind of goes like that in the snow and just picks up pre-rolled fucking snowball.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck off. At least make the snowball, Santa. Fucking hell.
It's not a hard thing to do, is it? Or you get some like mush and like put it together and throw it instead of like pre-balls where you can obviously tell that they're there.
And then he makes a few fat jokes, doesn't he?
Yeah, like thunder fires and you can't. How did you get here, Nick? Did you roll?
Yeah. But so he fucks off from the North Pole, and then we have one of my favourite parts in the film, Siblings Anonymous.
Siblings Anonymous. It's quite funny, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you know what? I didn't actually clock on at first when I was watching it. They are genuine siblings of famous people.
Yeah.
So you got Sly Stallone.
Yeah, Frank Stallone, yeah.
Right, then you got Bill Clinton's brother.
Yeah.
And then you got the Baldwin brother, haven't you?
Yeah, Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah.
I love that. He's not Alec. He's not Alec. He's not Alec.
That's right, I didn't clock on at first. I thought I recognised him from somewhere.
Yeah.
And another film with Kevin Spacey he's in is Unusual Suspects.
Yeah.
Have you seen that film?
Yeah. Kaiser Soze.
Fantastic film.
Yeah.
And obviously it's another film that they're both in.
The Usual Suspects.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film. I absolutely love that one. Great twist at the end as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't want to see that coming.
Although by the time I came to watch that film, I already knew the fucking twist, so he kind of ruined it for me.
I've got to say, that is probably the best acting I've seen of Spacey.
Really?
Yeah, in that film. I think he played it really well.
I don't think what else I've seen him in, really.
Well, it's been in loads of films, hasn't it, overall?
Yeah, he has,
like House
yeah.
of Cards as well, and that TV series. And that,
Never seen it.
I didn't watch it all, but it's been really good. Yeah, so we've got the AA group, or group for siblings.
Yeah, so they're all sat around having a moan, and he wants to have his say, and he says, my brother's Santa Claus, and they're like, yeah, fuck off. And they're like, oh, well, maybe in his world, he does think that his brother is Santa Claus. And he's like, no, my brother is actually Santa Claus. And then Stephen Baldwin's like, are you taking the fucking piss? You taking the piss? And
you get Stallone in the background, don't you, going, my brother's Santa Claus as well.
Yeah. But no, it's good. It's good the way they did that, and they got it. But then he then has a change of heart, doesn't he? And then decide he wants to go back up to the North Pole. I've got a few questions about this bit because he makes a phone call. Don't know who he's ringing, but he says, I need to get to the North Pole by tonight. I've got 50 grand here. I need to get to the North Pole by tonight. First of all, who the fuck are you ringing?
Yeah.
Who are you ringing? Who would, right, if you had to get to the North Pole now, who the fuck would you ring?
God knows, mate. But that's the thing that doesn't even make sense. It's not only that, but how long did it take to get there? So it was 4 days before Christmas when the whole operation shut down. He's travelled from North Pole back home.
Yep.
He's opened up the gift from his brother, which was the birdhouse, which then obviously made him do that. Then he's had to find and get himself booked in for the sibling anonymous group.
Yep.
Right? Because I'm sure that wasn't the next day or the same day.
Exactly.
It was like it's happened like to a few days later. At least 48 hours have passed. So he's got 2 days left to make it back. And then he's got to logistically sort himself out to end up with
Get to the North Pole.
What they call now people who live up there? Eskimos.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the Eskimos like drop him off and go North Pole's over that way.
Exactly.
As if it's like a well-known thing that everybody knows, like where Santa lives.
Exactly, because like then you see like a little cutscene where he's on a plane, and then you see one of them icebreaker kind of tanker, what are they called?
Like oil rig type ships.
Yeah, like the oil tankers, fucking going through the ice, and then he's on a dog sleigh and shit like that. And I'm like, you can fuck right off. You can't get up to the North Pole in a fucking afternoon. But most importantly, I want to know who he fucking rang. Yeah. Who's his travel agent? Who's arranging this shit? I know he's got 50k to spend on it, which, you know, can maybe shorten the time down a little bit. But you can fuck right off.
That's
off.
it.
Would make more sense. I mean, he's got the number for Santa because he rings him at the beginning when he's there. So obviously they've got phones up in the North Pole. So why didn't he just ring fucking Willie and say, look, listen, Willie, do us a favour, nick the sled, get down here. We'll be back up there in 15 fucking minutes.
Can I just say as well, don't know with that montage as you just said then.
Yeah.
Right, you can tell they have not legitimately filmed them in them scenes.
Oh, the quality of the ship.
It looks like they've gone like on YouTube, looked at like a plane taking off, and then looked at the next clip, boat going through ice, and then just screenshotted it.
Basically, yeah,
that's the quality
exactly
was
what
like really grainy, wasn't it?
Yeah, the quality, especially the ship one, is just really shit.
I know it's that.
It's a shit ship.
I mean, how would you get to like the North Pole though, if you was doing it like you say logistically? Would you go to Greenland and go up from there? Or would it be from Alaska? Would that be the best bit?
Fuck knows, yeah.
I'm sure North Pole itself isn't a small area.
No, like you've seen it on like Top Gear when they tried to get up there in the car. It's like you ain't just fucking walking up there. It's just silly nonsense. He walks in, doesn't he? And he gets back and he decides that they're gonna try and push to get the quota filled. So they say, well, we'll just give everyone one toy. We'll give a hula hoop to the girls. We'll give a baseball bat to the boys. Come on, let's get cracking. We can fucking do this. Does his little fucking speech. But then it turns out that Santa can't fucking deliver the presents because he's thrown his back out when he had his little fight with Fred.
No, he's gone too fat.
Yeah.
That's what to say. That's what trying to make out, wasn't it? Because his wife, every single scene that he was in, he's like, when he's speaking to Clyde,
yeah,
Nick's there, isn't it, looking at the cookies, and he's like about to reach his hand across, and Mrs. Claus slaps his hand away.
Yeah.
And then she keeps saying to Nunzi, like, no, you don't need gravy on. You know, you put in a little few pounds on. You don't need to eat that. It's like, talk about fat shaming him, you bitch.
Oh, I know, in front of his mum as well.
It's like that all the time. It's like, no, honey, no. Think of your cholesterol. Think of your diabetes.
Mate, the guy's immortal. Let him eat what the fuck he wants.
It's honestly, it's absolutely balmy.
So they're like, oh, Willie, you know how to drive the sleigh. You fucking deliver the presents, you little shite. You'll be able to get down these chimneys easier than I can. But no, there's a rule. Only a Claus can deliver. Fuck off. Fuck right off. Anyone can fucking do it.
That's it. Willie was flying it originally, so it's like, why couldn't Willie fly the sledge again?
I know, and like I say, he could fit down any chimney easier than fucking 6'5" fucking Vince Ford.
Well, fair enough, right? It might only be a Claus that can deliver the presents, right? But Willie can fly the sled. You've seen him already doing it.
Yeah.
So why can't he just take the reins and like go and do it?
Exactly. Fuck
Again,
them.
when they're flying around, no movement on the hat or anything, is there?
No, because he goes with him anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I love how as well, the whole of the North Pole village, the workshop, all the houses, Santa's house, every fucking thing, it's just on one switch. Just one switch in the workshop turns everything off. It's almost like they've got it wired up to the local fucking lamppost, like stealing electricity, and it just all happens to run through this one giant fucking switch. And it's like,
I'll be honest with
bollocks.
you, mate, right? With everything we're seeing, I wouldn't put it past them, mate, if they got the electrics rigged up as well. You know what I mean? They've got child labour and everything going on.
I really
They're not paying the electric bill.
That's how they get away with it. You just cracked it, mate. They're not elves. The kids. They kidnapped all the naughty kids or the kids around the world. They're like, oh, you can come and work for us. The way we get round it is you've got to wear these fucking ears. Stick these ears on. You're not a kid. You're an elf. We don't have to pay you. Get over there now.
Well, maybe the fake ears, what are on the red, that's what's doing like the mind control. So when the music's playing, Here Comes Santa Claus, they're shitting it. That's what I mean. It's not a case of enjoying it. It's fear.
Yeah.
It's like, here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Making it dead
Gonna
dark.
fuck you up. Make the presents work much harder before we fucking kill you.
So what they do, they speed it up a little bit so it goes happy and cheery. It goes, here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. You slow it down.
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. About to fuck shit up. We're gonna beat you. We're gonna work you.
Got a bit of a darker turn there. And I was like,
that's basically it, mate.
yeah. So then, like I said, you have a bit of a delivery montage. All the houses don't have chimneys, don't get parcels delivered.
I've got a question.
Oh,
So,
and then we see, don't we, with Nick and Clyde, they have a took about it. Says he has a naughty list of in 1968.
Yeah.
And he was the top of the list, wasn't he? Because he
He was
wanted the
top of the
Superman
list.
cape. That's why he was a little cunt. And he then changes his mind and
Like
wants
that.
to help.
like that.
And
Apparently.
then he starts working for Santa in the end as well.
Yeah, because he comes in and flicks the switch, doesn't he? And he says, you motherfuckers, you shouldn't be working. You're all fired. I'm from HR. Take them ears off. Get back to your families. You're fucking freed. I'm freeing you. You like Dobby the fucking house elf and giving you clothes. It's like,
It's your second sock.
gives him a sock, yeah. The Santa remembers that he was on a naughty list and gives him his Superman fucking thing, and then gives him his Superman cape, calls him, oh, I bet all the kids called you Specky Four Eyes, and he's like, Clark Kent had glasses. And he's like, yeah, but he didn't have them when you were Superman, did he, you little fucking bellend?
That's a good point. It was like a little kick in the bollocks to him, wasn't it? When he was going, yeah, well, Clark Kent wore glasses. Oh, not when he was Superman.
Yeah, I know. And then it's funny because I'm not sure if it slightly before this or slightly after, he's in a Superman film and he plays Lex Luthor.
Yeah, this is all before it.
Well, yeah, so he gets his Superman cape and then all of a sudden he's a nice guy. All right then, right, yeah.
That's it. Have you noticed with this film as well? It's very montage heavy, isn't it?
It is very montage heavy.
Because again, at the very end, there's another montage where the kids are rumpling in their presents.
Yeah.
And like from what's happened the night before. But when the montage starts happening, you have all the elves, don't you, running out from their house, going back to Santa's workshop.
Yeah.
Is it just me or does that look like something from like World War Z?
Yeah, it was a bit like all the zombies running along. Yeah.
Even their arms, like
Yeah.
like that. You have to put a clip up there for it, but like that running at it, and it's like that looks like from World War Z. That a zombie apocalypse or them elves running towards like the shop happy. I didn't understand what was happening there.
But just before he finishes his rounds, he goes to see Clam in the orphanage. Like, how long has Santa been making dogs? I mean, he pulls a dog out and says, like, this is from Santa, and he's pretending to be Santa, and he puts, like, his Santa hat over his face so we can't see him.
Like, you're not going to recognise his voice.
Oh, I know. He's got a very distinct voice. So, and then he pulls out the puppy that he asked for near the start of the film. And I'm like, so does Santa have like a puppy breeding program, or has he just been somewhere to buy that fucking dog for him, or what? Where the fuck did he get a dog from?
Not only that, right, it's quite irresponsible to give a kid who's not got a family, so he's on his own,
Yes.
right, a puppy,
Yeah.
right, where you go feed it, where you go train it, it's going to be pissed all over the bed the next day, and then the workers from the social care home will go come in, see the dog and go, where have you got that from, take it off him?
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna. I thought that there's no way they're gonna let the kid in a fucking orphanage keep a dog, keep a fucking puppy. No fucking way.
That's it. He's like, yeah, that kid is going to be heartbroken in the morning when he wakes up.
Because I thought it was gonna go down the road if he was gonna end up adopting him or something, and then I thought, well, that's a fucking bad idea. Or maybe you could have recruited him to like the elf squad. Yeah, I got you these ears, mate. Do you want to come up there? You'll live forever, but you have to do a bit of hard. Like you have to do like 40. Well, what would it probably be more than that? 80 hours of hard labour a week.
At least.
Yeah.
Well, the original script, I do believe it was meant to be Wanda and Fred was going to adopt him.
Yeah.
But then they changed it because it wasn't as practical as what they wanted.
Maybe they
that's
just
why
didn't
he has
wanna-
a different family in the end. But originally it was going to be Fred who adopts him,
Yeah.
which would have made better sense, really, isn't it? Because you know he's
Would
friendly
have
with
been
him.
a little bit more heartwarming, but I'd probably been sat here thinking, well, that don't make sense. Why is he fucking adopted him? But then again, I'm sat here thinking, well, why didn't he adopt him?
Yeah, I think it would have been better if he did adopt him. But do you know what I mean? I think Slam's quite traumatized from all the abuse he's probably had of Fred anyway.
Oh yeah,
Climbing in
yeah.
on about his back doors.
Yeah. He's not exactly a good role model, is he?
Oh.
Yeah, it's silly. And then what's with him at the end as well? He's kind of like, what is he now, coaching his baseball team or something when they're all at that pizza parlor with
yeah,
the
forgot about
baseball
that
cards?
scene.
What the fuck's that about?
Yeah, and he's all like saying, "Oh, people wear their hats this way," and then like
Yeah,
turn them
yeah.
all back. And I believe as well, through this film, the majority of the film, that Vince Vaughn made up his own lines throughout the whole of it.
Oh, just
his own
improvise
dialogue.
most of it.
Yeah,
Not surprised because it is literally. They shouldn't have called it Fred Claus. They should have said, what would happen if Vince Vaughn was Santa's brother?
Vince Claus.
Vince Vaughn is a Karen, and we're going to see.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn is Fred Claus, and we're going to see what would happen if Vince became Santa's older brother.
That's a little bit like Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider.
Schneider is a Karen. But yeah, it's just after, and then the kind of film ends when he goes back to Wanda and then decides, without consenting her, he's not seen her since the intervention or anything like that, and just decides, I'm moving in with you.
Bear in mind they broke up.
Yeah, and then she just goes with it because he gets her a little fucking bear with a Paris flag on, with a French flag on, sorry.
Bearing in mind, she said earlier in the film that she's been let down pointlessly loads of times about him going to France and stuff.
But he comes in and he says, yeah, I've given up the lease on my flat. I'm moving in with you. And it's like, again, when did you have time to give up your lease? First of all, who says she wants you to move in there with her? Sorry. And then it wound me up because it was like, how fucking dare you coming into my house saying you're moving in with me? I've only just learned that you like met your mum and dad and learned that you had a fucking brother like 2 days ago and learned that he's Santa Claus. I said, we've been on shit dates. 3 days ago, I was being chatted up by some guy and I said I didn't have a boyfriend. We've pretty much broken up and now you decided that you want to move in. Fuck you. I mean, it's gone from all she wanted was a decent fucking date or a surprise for her birthday to I'll come and fucking move in with you. I mean, it's like 0 to fucking 100 in like a second. It's like, fuck off. I'd have been like, no, get out my house. If you're homeless, fuck you. Go and see your rich brother up in the North Pole, you dickhead.
Yeah, that's it. How much does he actually get paid as well living up there? Because if you can give 50 grand just like that, then you know what I mean? It's
Oh, no.
not short of change, is it?
Then again, maybe she's realised, fuck, this fucker's spouse is immortal. I'm fucking, I don't care. Yeah, move in with me. I'll fucking let you bum me or something.
You're like, yeah, do you want me? I'll live another couple hundred years.
Yeah, fuck it.
I'd like to see what happens in this planet.
Yeah, but it just, and then they go on the little joyride round the North Pole. Oh, not the North Pole, round the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, and then the film ends.
And that is the end of Fred Claus. This is the part where we give the awards out.
The one thing about this film was I couldn't figure out going through it who was it for? What audience was it for? Because it wasn't really a kids' film.
Not a kids.
And
I think it was like early teens or like 11-year-old, 10-year-old maybe.
Yeah.
Because your daughter, 7 is she?
7.
8? Yes, so 7-year-old watched it. 15, 20 minutes, she said, and got bored.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Watching it, I'd say it was like aimed at early teens type things, like a family movie. But then with all the sound effects added in, makes it too kiddish then.
It's like it's almost to me like they didn't know who their target audience was going to be, so they tried to kind of make it for everyone, but made it for no one at the same time. It's just, and it's trying to cash in the whole Christmas classic movie type genre, and personally, I don't think it works. I'm probably not going to watch this film again, to be honest. I've had my fill of it. It wasn't a bad film. It's one of them. There's better Christmas films out there for watch to get you into the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't come away feeling like I want to be in the Christmas spirit, that it's like Christmas round the corner. And we're only like 2 weeks currently away from Christmas, and it didn't make me any more excited for it or any more. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I reckon it's like the early December style Christmas films. So it starts to build up, and then you start getting into good films like the Santa Claus and stuff round the corner from Christmas, don't you?
Yeah, and like even like the Christmas Chronicles on Netflix, that I'd say that's only a few years old, and I'd say that's more of a classic Christmas film than this will ever be. I don't know, I didn't rate it that much as a Christmas film or as
film in general.
As a concept. When you think of the actual plot of the film, it's like they just kind of, like the Kevin Spacey character, they kind of just decided to stick him in there just as some kind of antagonist. But they could have come up with a million other fucking things.
It would have been better if he's gone up there, Santa got injured, and that's why they couldn't fly, and then Fred had to take over type thing. And
then they had to kind of get Fred to get his Christmas spirit and stuff like that, and to kind of convince him to kind of
change his ways.
To take over from Santa for a night or to join the family business or whatever. But it's like there's no need to bring in this fucking corporate HR guy. Corporate for where? Why does Santa even report to anyone?
Yeah, then no backstory into any of that, was there? That's right. This is part of the show as well, where we do a little pop quiz as such. And each of the quotes from a famous film is something to do with a film that we're reviewing on this week. And for this week's one is a film starring Vince Vaughn.
What were they like anyway? They look pretty good. Are they real? Are they built for speed or for comfort? What'd you do with them? Motorboat? You play the motorboat? You motorboating son of a bitch. You old sailor, you. Where is she? She's still in the house?
What is wrong with you?
You guess what film that is, starring Vince Vaughn. If you can, let us know down below.
I think the last voice that came in there maybe give you a slight little clue as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So let us know down in comments or contact us on email with this episode and the answer. And now we have the award section.
Yes.
So let us know down below in the comments, who would you give the following awards to? We have the best actor, the worst actor, the best character, and the worst character. And also let us know 3 things you enjoyed about the movie itself. On top of that, what was your personal rating out of 10 for it? So for the first award is going to be the best actor award.
Yeah, that's right, you better walk away. Go on, walk away, because I'm going to burn this motherfucker down. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Who's your best actor award?
Well, I've written it down on my list as TBC. To be honest, I couldn't think of a best actor. Vince Vaughn's through most of it, but like I say, he's just playing himself.
I think he done quite well, to be fair.
What, I'm playing himself?
Yeah, I think his meaning and character that just suited the role.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really say acting. Do you want to go first? Who would you go?
Yeah, I've gone for John Michael Higgins as Willie.
Willie?
Yeah.
Little Willie?
I liked him.
You like Little Willie?
Yeah, I think he done quite good acting as well. He's quite a likeable character.
Yeah, I was torn between Kevin Spacey and Paul Giamatti, Santa.
I was thinking them too. But then when I was speaking to the missus, she made a good point. He's not a believable Santa.
How so?
It's just the way he is and everything. It didn't seem right. And then there's quite a few bits when they're having a fight together. I don't think it was good performance. The acting went a bit too comic here. Kevin Spacey, I was about to do it, but then I thought his character was a douche, so I didn't go for it.
Well, that's it. He does play a good douche.
Yeah, he does play a good villain.
It's kind of like his typecast in it, like as a villain. So I don't know. I'd agree with you about not being a very good Santa. There were some scenes where he kind of let the Santa side down. So I'd probably have to go with Spacey. I don't think Willie really deserved it, and I definitely think Vince Vaughn didn't. So Yeah, I'd a push. I'd Spacey, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Best
Fair
actor.
enough. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion even if it's not right.
Dickhead.
Worst actor.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank.
The Steven Seagal Award.
Steven Seagal.
Who's your Seagal Award?
My Seagal goes to Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Right, I've gone for Slam.
Slam. You can't give it to the little kid.
Yeah, child actors so annoying.
I say that, but I gave it to the little kid last week.
I think he's all right, but I don't think he was a great actor on some of the stuff. It wasn't worse, but there wasn't a lot of really bad acting anyway, overall. But I think he was just like worst out of the bunch. Best character.
Best character. You want to go first?
I've gone for Willie again.
Willie, you love that Willie, don't you? You love a bit of Willie.
I'd quite liked him honestly, because
You
like
love
even
it.
with the bond between himself and Fred was quite good. You know what I mean? I think they
Yeah.
had like a good little bond together. I thought it was quite cute as well, the way they were together and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like he built confidence up in the end to do sexual assault on Charlene.
Shit, I forgot to mention that. When
He
he
just walks up like and just starts like knocking off of her.
fucking starts tonguing her, pulls out a chair, starts tonguing her, completely what's the word I'm looking for? Unconsensual, non-consensual, completely non-consensual. Mate, he's getting fired him.
Oh yeah.
I'd hate to think what discipline was given to him for that. Mate, he's currently now dangling from the ceiling of the workshop.
That's it. Well, she kind of liked it in a way, didn't she? She came over at the end and gave him a kiss.
Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
It's like, I like that. I like that. Yeah,
But what is that
sexual
teaching
assault.
people now? And you just walk up to the bird you fancy at work and just neck her just because you had a good day at work. Who would I give best character to? Kevin Spacey's character. I know I hated him, but I don't know if I can give it to him because there was no need for his character to even be in the film in the first place. So I'm definitely not giving it to Vince Vaughn. Fred can fucking suck a dick. Who else have we got? Elizabeth Banks wasn't really in it that much. Rachel Weisz ruined it with a fucking stupid Cockney accent. Kathy Bates, good actress.
Really good actress, yeah.
Wouldn't say he's my favourite character. Willie was Willie. Slam was just annoying. It'll have to be Spacey, just for lack of a better character, really.
Best character.
Best character.
Okay, your worst character.
Fred. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just being clouded by
I think
by
you
Vince
are.
Vaughn. No. My worst character would probably be Slam.
Okay, what's the reason for that?
Didn't need to be in the film.
Yeah, because
You could have taken him out of the film and it would have made zero difference to the whole film.
for the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Other than when he gets a bit stampy, but that could have just been anyone.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there.
You've
I've
gone
gone
with Slam
for
as well. Oh,
Clyde.
fuck you.
I know you've gone for the best character. He's the worst character. He was a douche. He looked so untrustworthy, like a little snake going around trying to destroy the whole thing. Even when he went over to Fred as well, I was going, "Oh, you're like a little tree, aren't you? In the shadow of the big tree. You just need to cut a few of them branches down." Do you know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
like
man.
a little worm, wasn't he?
He was going around stirring the pot.
Yeah,
Wasn't he?
worst character. Right, 3 things you liked about this.
So I like the Siblings Anonymous. I thought that was quite good. The set design was good. I imagine they probably have used CGI somewhere, especially on the outer shots. But like the main sets of the houses and stuff like that, they look like they were actually there. Might be wrong. It might just be really good CGI. But it was
I think you got a
quite
point
well
there.
done. And the other bit I liked was there was some good parts where there was a bit of an attention to detail. Now I meant to mention it when we were talking through the film, but I'll mention it now as one of my best bits. So in the beginning of the film, a little girl writes a letter to Santa. And you kind of, it's when Willie's showing him round the workshop and she says that she wants an orange bike with banana handlebars.
Yeah.
So you see her writing a letter, you see her posting it off. Then it comes to the elves in the workshop, and then you see the bike being made. He reads it out, and it goes through the machine, and it comes out an orange bike, and then they stick the banana-shaped handlebars on it, right? And then later on in the film, when he's delivered all the presents and you're watching the montage of all the kids opening the presents, that little girl gets her bike at the end, the orange bike. When she opens the present, you got the orange bike there with the banana handlebars. And I thought that was quite a good little touch, that it's kind of like if you weren't really paying attention, you wouldn't have really noticed.
Yes, it's like the progression, isn't it? From asking for it, seeing it being made and then delivered.
And then being delivered, yeah. By him on Christmas Eve. So I thought that was a nice little touch. So I'll put that down as a best bit as well.
Yeah, that's a really good Good bit of observation there, mate.
Yeah.
Really good observation there. So I've gone for like the effects that done for the elves to make them look seen. The majority of them anyway overall.
How was that best bit? I beg to
liked it.
differ. I'm using my veto. You can't say that. Look, just go back and look at Ludacris.
But I like to say, other than Ludacris, I think the majority of the scenes were filmed really well.
Like, even Willie, little fucking Willie. You can't.
Number 2, I like the chemistry between Fred and Willie.
Fuck, what is it with you and Fred and Willie? Fuck, they had a little dance together, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, look at them best
so
mates.
the second one. The second one is the set design.
Yes.
It does look like a genuine set.
Yeah.
And like we were saying a few weeks back with the Mortal Kombat one, it's good to see an actual set and not everything just CGI'd.
Yeah,
Everything's just CGI'd to death now, isn't it? It's done filmed in a warehouse, aren't they? And do everything through the warehouse. Whereas like the budget for this is probably building the set, a lot of it.
I still can't get over the budget for this. I really can't get over that this was $100 million film.
Crazy.
I'm not surprised they didn't make it back. At some point during this, they must have just been thinking, how the fuck are we going to make this back? I think they were banking on the fact that it was a Christmas film. And was there many Christmas films released that year? I didn't really have a look. But I think they were probably just banking that it's turning into kind of a Christmas classic, and they'll make the money back on like syndication and stuff like that, and putting it out to like DVD sales and shit like that at the time, because DVDs were kind of still a thing. But it definitely missed the mark so much.
Yeah.
And like I say, the fucking $100 million fucking dollars for this film. Behave.
I can't actually see how much he was paid in it.
I can't imagine it being that much, but then again, mid 2000s, he was kind of at the height of his Vince Vaughn's kind of career at that point, because I think he had come off Wedding Crashers at that point, which was quite a big film at the time, because that is a fairly good film.
Was that 2005 or something?
Something like that, because obviously this guy who directed this film also directed that. So 2005 was Wedding Crashers, and then after that he had the breakup with Jennifer Aniston, which was 2006. Now that wasn't the best film, but it was quite well hyped at the time. And then obviously he comes to this, so it was kind of like the height of his career almost. Or like kind of just before like the drop off.
The third thing I liked was good pacing.
It
was a 2-hour film, and it didn't feel like a 2-hour film. That's a good thing. I mean, it's like you watch some films, don't you, where it's like an hour and 20 minutes long and it feels like a 2-hour film. You feel every minute of it. Whereas this, it didn't feel like a 2-hour film. I was quite surprised it was, to be fair.
I do think they could have cut quite a bit out of this and made it like an hour and a half, 90-minute film.
Easy.
I do think it went on a bit longer than it needed to be.
What's your personal rating out of 10?
Probably being generous because it's Christmas, a 6.
I've gone for 6. Yeah, I think 6 is probably about right and fair enough for that as well. And on the Wall of Fame, we've got a Wall of Fame as well, ladies and gentlemen. We have a one to skip, worth a watch, and a must-see movie. Where would you place this in your category?
I could have personally gone the rest of my life and every Christmas in my life not seeing this. So I'd probably be tempted to put it in one to skip, or maybe on the fine line between one to skip and worth a watch.
Yeah,
because it's definitely not must see.
No,
if you've run out of Christmas films to watch, then it may be worth a watch. But other than that, I wouldn't say it's worth watching. I'd say just one to skip. What about you?
I'd say worth a watch if you're being honest with you. If you've never seen it before and it's starting in the next 10 minutes and you sat down in the daytime having a Christmas family like marathon of watching films, I think it's worth a watch. I wouldn't say turn the TV over to avoid it type of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? But I wouldn't go out my way to watch it. That's what I'm saying. So it's probably like, if it's there, you're flicking through, there's nothing else on, definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
Especially around the Christmas time, you watch a lot of garbage film. It's like the Hallmark Christmas films what come out each year. They're absolutely garbage. It's better than them. You know what I mean? There's always one, isn't there, where the mum and dad have an argument and then...
Like, I'm pretty sure one year Hannah made me watch a film called A Dog Called Christmas, which was kind of like one of them Hallmark films, and I would have begged, if I had a choice between being an elf in Santa's workshop and taking the discipline and being hanging from the rafters there in the workshop and watching that film again, I would choose the rafters any day. But I'm saying one to skip, but I did say I'm on the fence. So if you're saying one to watch, I'll lean more towards there. But I mean, it's going to be on a very fine line. I think we may just need to move Suicide Squad over slightly just to make room for it just being right next to One to Skip. I want it like right on that fucking line.
You want it right in the middle of the border.
I want it maybe not so much in the border, but just maybe crossing the line slightly. That's where I'd put it. But yeah, I will concede and say worth a watch. Watch it once, but only if you've got nothing else to watch. And obviously, it's Christmas, because there's no point watching this in the fucking summer, is there?
Yeah, you wouldn't watch it in the summer.
Why the fuck would you watch this?
Are you crazy? Who watches Christmas films in the summer?
Mate, you'd have to be mentally ill to watch a Christmas film in the summer.
Unless it's Die Hard.
Yes, because Die Hard is 100% a Christmas film.
Certainly is.
Yes. So, yeah, fuck it. Put it in worth a watch, but I want it over that side. I want it as close to that line as possible. But yeah, so that's where I'd say. So,
got to do socials.
if you want to, if you agree with us on whether it's worth a watch, want to skip, or must see, please leave it as a comment. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to get in touch with us, you can contact us on 6andbelowpodcast@gmail.com. And on Spotify, if you can leave us a 5-star review if you enjoyed this. There's plenty of other videos you can watch of ours. Yeah, and we've got plenty more to come. I think next week we are doing Twilight, which I can't fucking wait to do because spoiler alert, I hate that fucking film. Oh yeah, we forgot to say for this one as well. Spoiler alert, bit late now.
Yeah, a bit of spoiler alert for you.
Yeah, but if you've watched this way and you've not seen the film and now you're moaning about spoilers, yeah, fuck you. So if we don't see you before, which we probably won't, I hope you all out there have an amazing Christmas. I hope you all get what you want.
So best wishes from 6 and Below.
Yeah, best wishes to you and your family. I hope you get your hula hoop or your baseball bat.
Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourself, folks.
Take care.
Bye for now.
See you next week.